Hi, David Smith here. We're going to talk a little bit about diagnostics. The first thing you need to know is I look at diagnostics a little different than some people, but we're all after the same goal. We're after the goal of reducing radon in construction buildings and homes. So the first thing I think about when I think about diagnostics is common sense. I can't tell you how important common sense of building construction is. In other words, the more you work in a certain area, the more you're going to learn what the building techniques were for different periods of time in that era. For instance, in 1960, a home was not built the same way as it was built in 2010, especially when it comes to the substrate material. The material under the floor that's so important to us drastically changes over the eras, depending on codes, and depending on just the fact that I think we've gotten smarter over time with building construction. So it's very important to record and study what happens during the different eras of construction in the area you work in. And so common sense would also include such things as, if I walk into a basement and I see a block wall that separates the basement in half, then I know that block wall's got to be sitting on a footing, and I know the communication from one side to the other is going to be poor. So that's just another example of common sense. It's used a lot in bidding a job. When we bid a job, we're looking at these things. We're looking for these things. When we're designing a job, we're looking at and for these things. And so there's a lot of value to common sense, and I consider it a great diagnostic tool. So you want to keep record of the homes you do. Also, proper fan selection. We've talked about this before. I can't stress how important it is to choose the right fan. If you can't choose the right fan, your success rate is going to go down. And fan selection is due to very simply understanding what a manometer and a fan flow chart or a fan curve chart have to do with the performance of that fan. It sounds complicated, it's not, but it does take a little bit of understanding and a little bit of studying what to do. These are two different kinds of manometers. The liquid filled one you see in almost all residential situations, the micromanometer that we also use occasionally, but both of them read inches of water column. Your fan's performance is based on inches of water column. Know your fan curve chart. So the next thing we're going to talk about is continuous monitors. I can't tell you how important I believe continuous monitors are in diagnostics. We have a saying that a continuous monitor is the only form of diagnostics that's 100% effective. All diagnostics are great tools to work with, but none of them are perfect except continuous monitors. And the reason being, we all know that what we're ultimately seeking is low radon numbers. And that's what a continuous monitor does for us. No matter what your other diagnostics prove to you, the end result needs to be low radon numbers. Oftentimes, we enlist a professional tester with their high-tech equipment to come in and help us with diagnostics on difficult homes. Oftentimes, we use what's more considered the homeowner version of a diagnostic manometer or monitor, and these come in very handy. They're very handy for your diagnostics as you're trying to get through a difficult home. Use them all the time. So the next thing we're going to talk about is pressure field extension testing and smoke testing, because ultimately what usually makes a radon mitigation system succeed is the word we've referred to as communication, the fact that we need flow from underneath that entire basement floor. If I put my radon suction point in one corner, I need to know that it has communication or flow to the farthest point from that or the other corner. And so the one way you can find that out is a micromanometer. Very handy tool. Drill a hole, stick one side into the hole, turn the fan on, and record the reading. Very simple to use, very good instructions with the product. And once again, it reads communication. If you have communication, it's going to tell you have communication. Another form that we often use is smoke. This harmless smoke, it comes in smoke matches, it comes in smoke pens. These are pretty handy to keep here in your pocket. and then when you need them, you can get them out and use them. This is a refill cartridge for the smoke pen. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take, for instance, this smoke stick, and you can see the smoke off of it. Now, if you had the fan turned on and you had a hole drilled as a test hole, that liquid smoke that just rose would be going down in that hole. And it's a very effective tool, because if the smoke's going down in the hole, then you know you have communication. So we oftentimes use these very simple, very effective tools. It will give you the same results as a micromanometer. This is a lot more precise. Both of them indicate communication. Thank you.